Good afternoon for some of us, good morning for others who are from different time zones. We would like to welcome you to our webinar on hybrid cloud, on the combining of the best of private clouds and public clouds. Your host today is going to be me, Andrew Tuzov. I am the Director of Business Development on StarWind. And today we're going to be talking to one of the people who was responsible for developing hybrid cloud within StarWind. It's one of our solutions architects, Dmitry Malinko, and we're going to find out why StarWind was developed as a solution which fills new niches in the market which have previously been unexplored, and why we think that this solution is going to help most customers who were previously hesitant or unable to go to the cloud to find a new way to create a cloud environment for themselves. So just to know, this webinar is going to be recorded and we will be sending you a recording after the event. And during the demo, don't be hesitant to ask questions and we will respond to them during the Q&A session. So let's go over our today's agenda. First of all, we'll discuss cloud computing, the different options that are before you, like private and public clouds, and why hybrid is a whole different approach which unifies the best of both worlds. Then there's the overview for hybrid solutions that are already available on the market. Then we will show you why StarWind is a simpler way to get a hybrid cloud without all the difficult requirements that are coming from other vendors. Then we will show you a live demo of an environment actually configured using StarWind Hybrid Cloud and utilizing both on-premise and Azure components. And then we're going to wrap it up with a quick Q&A session where any questions that you will ask during the demo will be responded by either Dmitro or me. So without further ado, let's pass it on to Dmitro. Dmitro, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Andrew. Hello, everyone. Thanks for attending this webinar. We will hope you enjoy it, and I believe you will find much useful information for you. In StarWind, our main goal is to deliver all the building blocks required to construct a full-stack infrastructure. This is ensured by a portfolio that has solutions for the most business problems for IT systems. With ever-increasing popularity of cloud computing, StarWind has recently created an easy entry for business in the cloud. I would like to highlight 3 typical benefits of cloud computing we deliver to our customers. Firstly, reducing upfront transition costs and making expenses more predictable. Secondly, increased scalability. And third but not the least, increased availability and reliability. This ensures that your data is always safe and readily available regardless outside factors. Let's overview common cloud deployment models. So I would like to start with a private cloud. A private cloud is also well known as a service in your basement. It's computing power as a service within a virtualized environment using an underlying pool of physical computing, storage and network resources. A private cloud is usually located on a dedicated infrastructure on premises of the business. A private cloud enables an organization to use cloud computing technology as means of centralizing access to IT resources by different parts, locations, and departments of the organizations. Let's look at some advantages. So the private cloud is all yours and yours alone. With a better understanding of the business needs, you can tweak and customize your private cloud performance and availability. Security in the cloud, whether it's public or private cloud, it's business need. For a private cloud, you have the most control over the security aspects because all the security efforts are done in-house or could be outsourced to managed security provider. The private cloud offers fully customized control with respect to maintaining data and infrastructure, including server operations. The organization can customize its cloud environment to meet specific business needs. However, many organizations are surprised by the cost involved in managing data center infrastructure. The understanding of such factors as utilization, redundancy, hardware cost, and efficiency usually leads business to a high cost of ownership. The private cloud is not a simple way to save your money. It gives businesses the ability to control and manage, but also creates a problem of efficiently utilizing budget to accomplish business needs. This type of cloud requires great investments. If your private cloud service crashes, your IT employees need to fix it. For business, it's crucial to have understanding of their recovery time and point objectives to eliminate any possibility of failures. The issues around scalability are nothing new. While configuration management may be most widely adopted, there are many ways to getting a system from 0 to 100% scalability. Often, when considering the range of benefits of the cloud, it's difficult to estimate the future scaling. You may know if demand spikes for the particular service and the particular time, your TE department may fall short. Now let's switch to a public cloud. So, a public cloud is publicly accessible environment owned by a third-party provider. The IT resources on the public cloud are usually provisioned via the previously described cloud delivery models. They are generally offered to cloud consumers at the cost or are commercialized via other avenues. Common service models of the public cloud are software as a service, in which third-party provider hosts applications and makes them available to the customers over the internet; platform as a service, in which third-party provider delivers hardware and software tools to its users as a service; infrastructure as a service, in which third-party provider offers virtualized computing resources such as VMs, storage over the internet. If you dive into public cloud, you see how low the total cost of ownership is. You don't need to buy expensive hardware. The public cloud did it for you. The services are offered on the pay-per-use model. It's payment method that charges based on the usage. For the businesses, especially for SMBs, infrastructure as a service offers reasonable alternative to purchase and maintaining traditional hardware. Public cloud also gives their customers a flexibility to ramp up and dial back on infrastructure use as needed. On-demand resources are available to meet any business needs anytime. Given that the public cloud is hosted off-site, the provider is responsible for the server availability. Usually, public cloud providers cover terms of availability in service level agreement and have great uptime. Although public cloud provides a single pane of glass, which is usually a web console, it requires resources to transition to adapt the applications to run in public cloud. When we speak in terms of infrastructure as a service model, it takes an effort to obtain or set up required performance by your apps. Because of multi-tenant nature of the public cloud, security is ongoing concern for some enterprises evaluating the cloud. While public cloud providers offer security technologies such as encryption, access management tools, some organizations, especially those with security requirements, choose to keep workloads on premises. Users typically deploy public cloud services in self-service mode. Some companies find it difficult to accurately track cloud service usage and potentially end up paying for more cloud resources than they actually need.
I had a quick question. So basically, we understand the differences between public cloud and private cloud, but what is it in hybrid cloud that makes it the best of both worlds, as it's commonly recognized? What are the things that hybrid cloud takes out of the both, and what it does to unify them in a single layer?
Thanks, Andrew. It's a great question. Basically, a hybrid cloud is an environment comprised of different cloud deployment models. For example, a cloud consumer may choose to deploy cloud services processing sensitive data to a public cloud and other less sensitive cloud services to a public cloud. So hybrid cloud deployment architectures can be complex and challenging, but we in StarWind believe the aim of hybrid approach is combining the best of the both clouds in a single manageable layer.
Understanding that, I mean, we're not the first solution on the market to provide a hybrid cloud solution. I know when you were developing hybrid cloud, we talked to you and you said that this solution is going to be completely different from what's already present in the market, and you're planning to make it a solution that fills niches which were previously unoccupied by other vendors. So what is it special about StarWind's hybrid cloud that makes it stand apart from other vendors' hybrid cloud solutions?
Thank you, Andrew. It's a good question. Let's take a look to infrastructure as a service providers and see what is the difference. You all know Microsoft Azure, AWS, and Google Cloud Platform. They offer compute, storage, and network services. Obvious differences between those providers are technologies they use to deliver virtualization resources and price they ask for it. I believe this leads businesses to some questions. Where can I run my VMs? What can I do to extend the workload to the cloud? And how is it done? Azure runs Hyper-V VMs, AWS runs VMware VMs, and Google Cloud Platform allows us to run KVM virtual machines. Running Hyper-V workload, you have two options to set up hybrid cloud with Azure. You can use Azure Site Recovery. It's a tool that allows you scheduling VMs replication to the cloud. It requires some actions to get things set up properly. Or you can convert your on-premises to Azure-like site using Azure Stack. It's an extension of Azure Cloud that allows you running Azure Pack on-premises. It's designed to complement your Azure investment. Anyway, Azure Stack will also use site recovery tool to replicate VMs and make the cloud hybrid. Speaking about VMware, AWS has developed VMware-based workloads to be run on the AWS cloud. So there are two options as well. You can run VMware VMs on AWS directly on the physical hardware, or you can use VMware Site Recovery tool to replicate virtual machines to the cloud. With that being said, you can set up true hybrid cloud with AWS and benefit from vMotion, Virtual SAN, and NS6 using 6-node cluster setup in AWS. Otherwise, you can use AWS as disaster recovery site using VMware Site Recovery. Google Cloud Platform allows to run nested KVM virtual machines. This year, Google announced a partnership with Scale Computing and Nutanix to provide a hybrid approach to customers. From what I know, both provides disaster recovery as a service for own hyperconverged solutions running cloud instances in Google. Using a web console and the client, they allow to backup to Google and configure replications. They do automated failover, however fallback to on-premises requires actions from your engineer. By the way, to sum up, most of the solutions provide hybrid cloud with active-passive replication. Only VMware does true hybrid cloud, but it is for enterprises. We in StarWind have developed a solution which does active-active hybrid cloud with any public cloud. It's planned to be hypervisor agnostic and does not lock business to a specific hypervisor or a cloud. We do this by combining a well-known on-premise ecosystems with any public cloud. Here is some insight for you. Hybrid cloud with Azure is already released. We work aside with AWS and Google Cloud to release the solution in the first quarter 2018.
Okay, Dmitry, thank you. That was a great overview. But I want to be honest with our viewers. Initially, I really wanted to host this webinar and invite Dmitry because during the development of StarWind's hybrid cloud solution, I felt like we really brought a lot of value to the market and something that has not been made before. Usually in the storage industry, people try to chase the market leaders. For example, if someone developed a new feature, they always try to catch up, create something similar. But here we had a totally different approach, and what Mitro's team was doing with this product was really inspiring, and that's the reason I wanted to host this webinar. It's because they found a whole group of customers who had a need that could not be fulfilled due to their budget constraints, hardware constraints, and various limitations from the outside world, and created a solution which is so flexible that it can fill the requirements of pretty much anyone. But we've heard the business value of this thing, how it differs to competitors, why it's the best of both worlds in terms of public and private cloud. But to be fair, Mitra, could you tell us how it works from a technical standpoint? Because until we hear that, it all sounds really well. But once we understand how it stands from a technical standpoint, we can really see the value of this solution.
Sure, the architecture requires minimum 2 nodes, each located in own cloud. Using VPN tunnel between locations, StarWind distributes highly available active-active replicated storage to the cluster, seamlessly merging both nodes. StarWind Hybrid Cloud can be deployed in no time and is administrated using such familiar and convenient tools as Hyper-V, System Center Virtual Machine Manager, Five9 Manager, StarWind Manager, or Command Line Interface. As you can see, it's planned to provide businesses with all building blocks required to construct the full stack infrastructure, fault-tolerant storage cluster backup to the cloud, and highly available DR location. You can be sure that the data is always safe and readily available regardless outside factors. Okay, let's go then to the live demo. Here you can see the server that is being used for the demo purposes, which is kind of typical for the production workload, and we use it for the Hybrid Cloud environment. Okay, now let's connect to it. Okay, so as you can see, here's our cluster configured, and now you can see 4 VMs, 2 per each host running in the cluster. I would like to perform the live migration between one of the VM between locations. For this particular case, I use VM running in Azure and live migrate it to on-premises. Let's wait a couple seconds um, to refresh the virtual machine connection console and see the live migration is successfully proceeded. Okay. So just to show you, we have here 2 node cluster. First node is physical host and second node is Azure VM. For the cluster child volume and disk witness, we use StarWind HA devices. Cluster-only networks are used for synchronous replication, and cluster and client networks are used for management and iSCSI purposes. Let's open StarWind Management Console. As you can see, we have 2 devices, 2 HA devices replicated between Azure and physical host, on-premises physical host. Um, Now let's go back to Azure VM. Let's connect to Azure VM and simulate the on-premises failure. Okay. Okay, we have successfully connected to the host. As you can see, we have the same picture in failover cluster manager. 3 VMs running on premises and 1 VM running in Azure. So let's halt or just reboot the main server on premises physical host. So the host is currently rebooted. We have just lost the connection to the server. Let's double check what is going on with the VMs. as it should be. VMs have just quick migrated to the partner host, so they failed and restarted on the partner host, and that's it. We have successfully migrate current production from the on-premises um, to the cloud. So let's double check if our on-premises server physical host is running. Not yet. Okay. Once again, our VMs are still up and running, and for the nodes, we have only one node up and running, which is Azure VM. Let's ping our main site. So, um, okay. This general failure is due to VPN tunnel is not available currently. It's not available yet. Not yet again. So the main idea is that StarWind successfully replicated the VMs to the partner host, and your production is up and running on the second node as usual for the StarWind. So let's go back to the double check the on-premises. Yes, the node is live. So we almost ready to see the node joining the cluster. Okay, just a second. Okay, that's it. We are back to the physical host. Okay, let's double check the failover cluster. Okay, we see the VPN tunnel is successfully established between sites, and physical host is joining to the cluster. And VMs, yes, and VMs, we see that VMs are currently perform live migration between sites. Just to mention, Hyper-V VMs, Hyper-V virtual machines have just automatically failed back to on-premises physical node. This is due to the architecture of StarWind Hybrid Cloud, which distributes highly available active synchronously replicated shared storage for Windows Server cluster of just two nodes. This means you can benefit utilizing Azure Public Cloud as a part of your on-premises environment running Hyper-V, or use Azure for the disaster recovery purposes. Now let's go back to the presentation to sum up on the StarWind Hybrid Cloud features. So, summarizing StarWind Hybrid Cloud with Azure, it's minimalistic cluster design. On-premises environments are very flexible and can start from just one node. You can consolidate private and public cloud of your choice. Um, it's quick and easy to set up and maintain. We provide you with installation assistance and proactive support, so you shouldn't worry much about the implementation. It's active data replication between public cloud and on-premises. StarWind Hybrid Cloud automates failover and failback in case any node failure. And the full environment can be run from any part of the instance in case of failure.
Dmitry, just so I can summarize and see if I can get a good understanding of this from a business standpoint, just looking at these benefits, it seems that it is the biggest advantage would be that it requires as little involvement from the on-site IT team as possible. So we just start out with a very small environment, which can be pretty much purchased for moderately insignificant costs and set up very easily. Then we can pick a hypervisor, either that we already have a license for, or pretty much KVM without any additional costs. Then it's very easy to set up because the StarWind team does it. Then if something happens, both the failover and the failback happens in an automated fashion, so there's nothing involved from the team as well. And even if something happens on top of that, there is the StarWind proactive support, which makes sure that your guys, I mean our guys, get over and help you with the issue. And then finally, it can be run from any part of the cluster, so you can pretty much migrate everything to the on-premise and then migrate anything to the cloud, or keep it split, whichever works. And I think this actually works with the question Richard Lemay asked in chat. He asked, can this work with a private cloud as a DR site? So it seems that, as far as I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dmitry, that that's also an option. You can set it up as primary location is working as primary location, and then you set up Azure as a DR site. And if something happens, everything fails over to Azure, and you can just resume working from Azure. And in addition to that, you can even use, if you require it more as a backup, you can use StarWind's VTL to make sure that you have an air-gapped ransomware protected backup in Azure. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I totally agree with you, Andrew. So yes, you can use your primary site as on-premises as DR, while Azure Cloud as main site running VMs, and failover to on-premises physical host in case something happened with Azure, and also complement your environment with StarWind Cloud VTL, which backups the data to ransomware VTLs located on premises and in cloud in inexpensive blob.
It seems like Richard LeMay already skipped straight towards the Q&A session, but let's tackle his questions. So he mentioned for you to explain how we connect the primary site and the public cloud via VPN or something else. Could you shed some light on that?
It's a good question. Basically, yes. For the connection, we use VPN tunnel between sites. We highly recommend to utilize Express Route, Azure Express Route between sites if it's possible. Otherwise, use site-to-site VPN using a VPN gateway in Azure.
Looks like we have quite a few questions going so far.
We have another question from Stuart Page. Does the Microsoft support StarWind Hybrid Cloud? Yes, we use technologies that Microsoft allows us to implement on-site and in Azure. Basically, StarWind Virtual SAN is successfully launched in Azure Marketplace, so you can go on and check it in your subscription and try out StarWind Hybrid Cloud on your site. Richard, thank you for another good question. It's not asynchronous replication, it's active replication. So it's synchronous replication between sites. StarWind distributes highly available shared storage, features HA device between sites. So it's synchronous replication. One more question from Guari. What are the storage requirements for the hybrid cloud? Basically, it's up to your environment and up to the workload you want to make hybrid. So The idea is to get the storage mirrored between sites not only by the shared purposes but also for the performance. So you could benefit running VMs in public cloud or on premises with the same performance. So it's completely customizable and up to your performance requirements.
Regarding the testing, Richard, feel free to reach out to me or Dmitry. We are going to see our emails on the next slide. And we will be happy to set up both a demo for you and provide you with a build that you can test in your lab environment. Okay, it looks like the stream of questions is slowly coming to an end, and that means that it's time to wrap our webinar. So thank you everyone for coming. It was a great pleasure to have you. Thank you, Dmitro. It was really nice hosting you today and having you tell us about the hybrid cloud solution. It was very informative, and I really feel like this product should be of great value to the community. And obviously, if anyone has any more questions that they come up with after the webinar, or they would like to see a personalized demo of the hybrid cloud solution, just feel free to reach out to me or Dmitry. You can see our emails on this slide. And we will be most happy to get you in touch with the people at StarWind responsible for providing you a demo and provide you with additional information on the solution. So with that being said, thank you everyone. It was a pleasure having you, and keep attending our webinars. Thank you.
Thank you.